on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning, Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. What is going on? Mark, Michelle Haley, channel name, Evan, James, Blake, Andrew, everyone in the live chat right now. Good morning. Everyone listening after the liveness, good day. Good day to you. Monster sports weekend, kind of out of nowhere. I shouldn't say that. NFL draft.
That was known.
NFL draft is known as a big sports weekend. Baseball, beautiful. New York City, Mets, Yankees. Mets yet to lose a series. Yankees, winners of 9 straight. Boogity, boogity. Exciting things in the city. NBA playoffs. I think I've officially been snagged. I didn't watch it last night, but the Golden State-Memphis highlights were electric. I want to start there really quickly. I think the highlights from Golden State-Memphis were so good. Between Draymond getting tossed, she probably shouldn't have. It's a little soft, but it's Draymond. Reputations. He runs off the court. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies and who he is. It feels like the part of the documentary where the new, young, fun team is forming. And this is the time they get punched in the mouth. Like, I think Golden State probably wins this series kind of handily. Clay is hitting awesome shots. Forget how just nice he is. That's what I was on my couch. I was on my couch last night, alone. Well, Noodle, bro of the night. And I was just saying to myself, Klay Thompson's game is so nice. That's kind of a weird sentence to say alone to yourself, but it's so true. Steph being Steph, always. He can't stop. Jordan Poole is getting 30-plus points off the bench. Golden State is still awesome. I think that series is going to be just high-level basketball to watch. Jaren Jackson Jr., that gets forgotten a lot. He has a massive game. I don't know what the comparison is. I don't know if Golden State is the reverse or the inverse of the Bad Boys Pistons team. Like the Bad Boys Pistons team were defense and everybody hated them. Where Golden State is like all offense and everybody kind of loves Steph and Clay. Like when they first took on Jordan and the Bulls. And there's the whole thing like Jordan got beat up, so he got in the gym, started getting built different, and sent Jordan on his path. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, it kind of feels like that. Like I think we're going to look back and be like, hey, Ja Morant is going to put up a hell of a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a special, like a 50-point game or something like that, or maybe they get 2 games. I don't know. But this feels like part 1 because Ja Morant is awesome. He misses the layup at the end. Everyone kept talking about it like it was an easy layup. It was full sprint against 2 defenders offhand. Coming from a guy that's missed a lot of layups, that's not one of the easy ones. But I've been saying on here and telling you guys, like, when am I going to dial it up for the NBA playoffs? After watching those highlights and Draymond getting ejected, and stand wherever you want to stand on Draymond. A, he doesn't care, so that's huge. And B, if you haven't seen it, go bring up the clip of him waiting in the tunnel for his teammates after the game. Draymond's there in street clothes, was tossed, and everyone comes around the corner. And I think it's Clay first, and they give each other a big dap up. And then Steph Curry, who again has changed the sport. He's this insane all-time basketball player, kind of out of nowhere, which doesn't really happen in basketball. And he sees Draymond around the corner, and they give each other the biggest smile, hug, dap up, because those dudes love each other and they love to compete. And the fact that Draymond got tossed and he's Draymond and he can't turn off his edge. I can't wait to watch him the rest of this series. Don't be surprised if we see Draymond do something stupid like a triple-double next game. Because when he's focused, he's still nasty on defense and he can facilitate that offense. The scoring is obviously weirdly gone from where Draymond was at one point at the start of their run. I'm so jazzed up for Golden State. And, I'm jazzed up for the Memphis Grizzlies, too. I just think they a couple years away. Or a year, even. That's how good Ja Morant is. That's how good that young core is. They had a game that looked like they could have steal and won at the end, and they did not. It's a tough out-of-bounds call at the end that they just turned to a jump ball because both teams were out of reviews and everything. Not sure about all that. NBA seems a little weird. But I'm dialed up for that. And I guess checking the boxes. Milwaukee beats Boston. They kind of dominated. Boston played awful. I think they had 10 two-point field goals. It's the lowest in Celtics history. I believe that is a real stat. A lot of history with the Celtics. It's obviously basketball's changing and three-pointer, et cetera, but also I think 3 of Milwaukee's starters are bigger than anyone who plays for the Celtics right now. So, one of those funny things with basketball, height still kind of plays, huh? And Giannis, he has the highlight, the off the backboard dunk to himself. You've probably seen, if you haven't seen that, also worth looking up because it's a guy in an NBA playoff series doing something that little kids practice on a 7-foot hoop to see if they can do, and he's doing that in a playoff game. So Milwaukee looks really good. We'll see. Boston not freaking out yet. They had such a good run. That I think, one game they're not going to rule it out. When their team just played flat out bad, we'll just see if that becomes the theme of the series or not. And meanwhile, tonight, we'll see what's going on. I know BBD and I will be watching some Yanks Blue Jays big series. Philadelphia, Miami. I don't know if you're going to rope me in for that. Embiid out.
Yeah, Embiid out. If Embiid's playing, I'm intrigued anyway. I just put together the Jimmy Butler aspect of it when I was looking at tonight's slate. I was like, oh, I am interested, but I'm not flipping away from Yankees for that.
Yeah,
that's just a personal.
Just being honest, that feels like a let's check in later in the series and see what's going on.
Nobody likes Harden, which makes him an interesting watch. But
if Embiid's back and it's a 3-2 series or a 2-2 series, then it's time to tune into that series, I think. Dallas and Phoenix, we'll see. Everyone's kind of been waiting for Luka's magic NBA moment.
Comes back for 5 and 6 last series, right? And
yep.
Don't believe it fully clicked. I'm trying to look at his game logs. He's very good and still gets 24 and 33 points, but I want to know what that felt like. But as an aside, I'm gonna flip to that game after, and I really on the walk in, I was listening to some basketball stuff. And I need to watch the Suns.
Yeah,
because they were the best team by so much. They're so efficient. Devin Booker's awesome. Where does he stand in all this?
I've been trying to live out these NBA playoffs like they are a documentary, like they are the Jordan doc. And yeah, the Suns are a straight up weird one. It's Chris Paul, all time. Can't win. Gets hurt in the playoffs. Can't win the. He's never won it all. I shouldn't say Chris Paul can't win. 14 for 14 night in a playoff game to eliminate the Pelicans. Pretty nuts. Booker was hurt. He's coming back. Like, Suns were 64-win team. That's nuts. That's like an all-time team. They went to the finals last year. They got a really good shot this year. I think it's lining up for Phoenix, Golden State. If we're being real with ourselves.
Suns they're just like fascinating because like depending on your definition of like superstars, you can say they got 2 lead guys. Some would say they have 0 because like Chris Paul is very 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 good, but is he the best player on championship team? Good, and then by the way they have DeAndre Ayton, who was a number 1 pick and is clearly good,
really good. Booker is
they're just
trying to see where he's at in all of this. Yeah. And it feels like they are also a team that's almost had Golden State. They have Golden State energy. Like, they play team basketball, and, like, Booker and Paul are the guys, but because he's Chris Paul, like, you play a real brand of basketball. It's not just the ISO. It's not what the Mavs will be doing on the other side of the court. Like, it's going to be a lot of Luka. You know, they're going to play basketball, but it's going to be a lot of Luka.
They give, like, the defensive effort and stuff, too. Like their team defense is good. Like, Booker's become, he was known as a kind of nothing defender for a while, I think, and that's changed.
Oft. So, BBD will flip over to that. That's the late night game. It would be cool if Luka can go nut job and kind of give more of a stamp, but I think we're lining up for Phoenix and Golden State, which I think that would be must-watch basketball. I don't want to say douchey people. That's a bad phrase. I think they would do that Western Conference final is actually the NBA final. We'll see. We'll see what we work up to. Saying all this, I fully admit haven't been teeth sunk into the NBA season.
It very well might get that narrative when separately the narrative most theorists, the East is finally much better than the West this year. And that still might not be an incorrect way to view that series because those two feel like they've got it. But at the same time, Bucks won last year and maybe headed for conference finals themselves. All that.
And I mean, Giannis is incredible. It is a really weird thing. I know this is a conversation in NBA circles, but he's kind of disrespected because he doesn't shoot well, but he does everything else at this freakish level. They won it all. Like, they won it all. And they're kind of the favorites to still come out of the East. And they can be a really interesting plot twist on either Golden State or Phoenix or however it goes down. But, yeah. All right. That was a little NBA to start. Wasn't fully sure we were going to start there. Normally start with baseball. I think we'll get to some draft stuff. Draft stuff's kind of weird at the end. I mean, you can go through some of Mel Kiper's grades and stuff. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, it was like first round picks. I feel like we can all have opinions on and discuss, but after that, nobody really knows anything. I was reading some grades for every team articles before this, and it's just a remarkably unhelpful article.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing in a draft is everyone can kind of walk away happy. And there's a handful of picks that are like, all right, weird, and that really only happens in the first round because, again, you don't know after that.
Kenny Pickett, if he's the starting quarterback for the next 10 years for the Steelers, pretty good pick. Kenny Pickett, if he's out of the league in 3 years, pretty bad pick. So you're kind of guessing.
Cool story.
Yeah, I decided I really like the Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh thing.
Did you see there's one viral video, I'm sure there were many, of like these Pittsburgh like area kids, and they were just so like kids like 10. They're so excited when Pickett went to
but I like
the
that.
Steelers. It's like probably a cool story for people. It's like their favorite college quarterback went to their NFL team.
Being a Pittsburgh person, that's a huge win. Let's do some baseball. Last night wrapped up with Los Mets. They kind of barraged the Phillies. Was wondering if it was going to be back and forth. No, they went Charlie Angels full throttle. 16-7. They're the best record in the National League. The New York Yankees are 16-6. They are the best record in the American League. Boogity boogity. They had the combined no-hitter. That was a part of this series. Wow, Game 2 was Gibby versus Taijuan Walker. Double friends of the pod. Gibby, obviously, because he was on more recently, they won. And then, the Mets, they kind of did it all around, man. Their lineup's deep. There's a lot of fun Mets conversations going right now. In the room next to me, Jolly Olive and Jerry Blevins in the house recording Shea Station. And I know Dom Smith, Cano, that whole thing, that story is riveting because rosters are about to reduce in baseball. Mets have a little bit of a conundrum on their hands with Bobby Cano still on the books for some serious cheese, and Dom Smith balled out 4 hits last night. By the way, Scherzer pitched last night. He gave up 3 ding-dongs, 2 to Schwarber, 1 to Harper. And he kind of didn't care. He was just slinging it. He had the lead. It kind of felt like old school pitching. One of those things that's tough to say. Like, I don't know. I guess he just got his final bag. So if he just wants to attack the zone and kind of not worry about it, that's awesome. As long as the Mets won, which they did. Schwarber's cool. Hot.
And I mean, his 2 prior starts are 14 innings, 1 run. Like he knows he's still got it. Like you can take a 6-4 every now and then.
Give up a couple homers to Schwarber twice and Harper. It's not bad. Pirates took 2 out of 3 from the Padres. Padres took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Too many P's. Wordle Wednesday coming up. Good for the Padres. They're still off to a really good start. That's really important to this MLB season, IMO. They're 15-8. Giants are 14-8. Dodgers are 14-7. Jeez. Rockies got a sweep. Kelsey Wingert's Rockies. I mean, the NL West right now. Whew. Nats took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Wow, I didn't know that. National /369. I guess I should have said the rest of the slash, otherwise I just gave their batting average. 369, 418, 475. To do that for 3 days.
It was like blowout wins, too.
They put up a 14, 11, and a 3. Giants. I don't know. What's that all about? Baseball. Baseball gods. Brewers, they win another series, obviously, 2 out of 3. Cubs took the final game. Stroman, 7 shutout innings, his first win as a Cub. Good for him. Patrick Wisdom clipped Corbin Burns in the final game. Brewers, 2 blowout wins in the first game. They are off. And again, one of the better franchises in baseball right now. 15-8. The pitching is stacked. Hitting had to get going a little bit, and they did the first 2 games of that series. Cardinals and D-backs split for whoops. Snake Saturday, 3-0. The last Jake Snake Saturdays. Cardinals came back yesterday. That was actually pretty cool. Huge Bader go-ahead home run. And Pujols started at first base. He hadn't done that yet. I guess he'd been DHing. But the story is the Snakes. They're different. They fight. Merrill Kelly, 7 shot. Whoops. And a good point. Ed in the chat. Stroman, it was his birthday. So we like that. Rockies sweep the Reds. The Reds are entering a world of sadness that I don't think their fan base was ready for this year. They are 3-19. I mean, the Royals and Tigers both have 7 wins. Those are the second to last place teams. 3 wins for the Cincinnati Reds. It's May 2nd. If your team swept a series, if your team has swept a series in this young baseball season, they have more wins than the same amount of wins as the Cincinnati Reds in that series.
The next fewest, quick glance at the schedule, is 7 wins, which, sure, 4 wins isn't a lot, but it's more than double, and it's
approximately
May 2nd with a late start.
That's tough. I don't think Reds fans were expecting that. That's brutal, man. That's brutal. Yankees swept the Royals. Royals are one of those teams with 7 wins, but Yankees, they rest some guys. They rotate dudes in. They kind of rested their bullpen, and they sweep the series. The whole energy is different. We did a Talking Yanks last night after the series. They're awesome right now. They're getting a pitching performance every day. The offense is starting to really go. I don't know. Things feel good. Rizzo's awesome. Judge started going, and he looks incredible when he does. Not a lot of guys look like him on a baseball field. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's birthday today. So,
yeah. The Yankees still, I think still nobody's thrown like 100 pitches, like not fully stretched out, but even with that, they're now, even when guys aren't fully having it, they're battling and giving some length. It's different. Looking at like their stat page, their top like 6 guys in plate appearances are all having positive seasons by OPS plus.
Right, like even Donaldson, whose stats don't look that great.
He's been, especially lately, he's been getting a couple knocks and he's walked so much.
Walked a ton.
And so many of his hits are doubles.
Right. Yeah, he's an OPS guy to a degree. Man.
Average is back over 200.
Yankees feel real good. Real good. Excited to see where the rest of the season goes. And, like we said, a fun one with Toronto, who just took 2 out of 3 from Houston. They lost the first game 11-7. Kikuchi got roughed up. And then they bounced back 2-1, 3-2. Barrios and Gossman, those are their guys. They get it done against Houston, who they haven't fully hit the ground running yet this season. I don't think anyone's really too concerned. They're at 500, 11-11. You know, the first kind of month of baseball. Halos are going 15-8. Good month from them. Houston, I know they had some COVID stuff, some injuries. I don't think anyone's too worried, but they just haven't been winning series. But not a lot of teams have been winning series if Barrios and Gossman are doing what they're doing. Gossman is silly. If you haven't seen his splitter, something to look up. I don't even know. It looks like a lefty slider or like a sharp lefty power curve. I don't even know. It's like 87 miles per hour, and it just drops. It's got like more action than any changeup you'll ever see. He found a pitch, and it is gross. 41 Ks, 0 walks. Hasn't given up a homer either. No walks, no homers. Gossman. George Springer with an amazing catch. He also had a 2-homer game. Wait, were his timeout? Because I think I did this earlier this year. George Springer. Were his 2 home runs the only runs in the game? Yep. George Springer hits 2 solo home runs. The final result of that game was 2-1.
Dude, his baseball reference.
Yeah. He's
so
unreal.
Significantly above, like, everything people think of him. Like, Astros stuff, whatever. He's so good.
Yeah. And he hits taters, man. His since 2019, his 162 game average is 48 home runs. 937 OPS. He still plays a lot of center field. They shift him over later in the games, but again, center field production, there's a lot of teams that don't get it. He missed a lot of last year. George Springer's really good. Angels took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. They're playing a final game today. Crazy one yesterday. 6-0. Lorenzen going for the Maddox. They leave him out there, and just chaos ensues to the point that it's 6-5 and bases loaded. Angels on their second guy out of the bullpen. Reisel didn't have it. Tepera comes in, and they get a little check swing ground out to first after the White Sox really were rallying. And, man, if you're the White Sox, that's got to sting because they are looking for the moment that's going to start their season, and that could have been it. Like a 6-run, 9th inning Sunday comeback. That's the thing that kind of changes your energy around your team. Instead, they're 8-13. They're just slogging. One of the biggest favorites in the AL this year. Again, it's still very early. You can look back at a lot of this and say it's still very early. If they went on a 9-game win streak, which the Yankees just did, they would be 17-13 and off to a good start. Now, you can't just say a team's going to go on a 9-game win streak, but they have the talent to. You know, if they run into a Royals-Tigers back-to-back, you could get 5 or 6 right there. So, it's still very early in the season. They play one more game tomorrow. Speaking of hoping it's early in the season, the Red Sox. I'm not going to go full Jakey Nostradamus, but the Red Sox energy and how they've been doing versus how pesky and feisty the Orioles are. I kind of thought this would end up this way. Orioles take 2 out of 3. Red Sox won game 1. Hill and Houck combined for 7 shutout innings. But these Orioles, man, they can pitch a little bit. I was super tough on them because they couldn't. They can pitch a little bit. Jordan Lyles has been pitching well. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. I mean, the Red Sox blow an Evaldi 7-inning shutout in game 2. Orioles walk it off in the 10th. Overthrow by Sawamura on a bunt attempt. I mean, the things that are happening to the Red Sox are bad. My buddies that talk about the Red Sox or tweet about the Red Sox, the vibes are not immaculate there right now. They're having a bad time. Tyler Nevin, 2-run single. How about that? Shout out Phil. Twins take 2 out of 3 from the Rays. Okay. Rays are 12-10. Twins are 13-9. Twins 9-1 in their last 10. Man, they are getting enough pitching as of right now. They hold the Rays to 1-3 runs in the final 2 games to take those games, while also putting 9 spots on the board, man. How's Kyle Garlick with 2 homers? Does that do something for you? How many guys on the Twins do you say before Kyle Garlick? Man. Josh Winder, 6 shutout innings for the first win in first career start. Good for him. Kluber has a good start against Dylan Bundy, so I feel rewarded for no reason. And Josh Lowe, the guy who is replacing Austin Meadows, that Rays fans promised me would be a stud. He hits his first big league home run. It is May. Hey, good for the Twins. Good for the Twins. Guardians sweep the Athletics. Kind of, unfortunately, nothing there. Guardians needed a bounce-back series. They were starting to get stomped by a lot of people. They go into Oakland. They take 3. Tristan McKenzie and James Caprillion the last game. A couple Arizona friends of ours, so we like that. And Richie Palacios, another Arizona friend. He was awesome. If you're looking for a guy to root for on the Guardians, Richie Palacios, good dude. And then what else? Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. Tigers, pretty disappointing start to their season. That was a game we played a lot this offseason. Like, when the Tigers look in the mirror, what do they see? They see a team that finished right around 500 last year and then added Javi Baez and Erod and Torkelson's getting the call. Hasn't been the start they wanted. Dodgers take 2 out of 3. They're off and rolling and being the Dodgers. Buehler, more shutout innings. Tommy Kahnle came back for the Dodgers. Little 1-2-3 inning and 2 Ks. First game since 2020. He's awesome. Dodger fans will like him a lot. And Marlins win another set. How about it? Keep winning series. That's a really good way to play baseball. They take it from the Mariners. They take the first 2. Mariners take the last game. A lot of young, awesome pitchers in this series. Matt Brash, Luzardo, Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, Alcantara. Julio Rodriguez hits his first Major League homer. I like him. I like him a lot.
I didn't know he's as fast as he is.
He's a freak. He's all of it.
Like, I figured he would be in the fast category.
Yeah.
But he's like a short list of fastest players in baseball so far, or right now.
And Bobby Witt Jr. How about that? His baseball savant is like top tier speed. Had no idea. Okay, young guys who are fast. New segment. Did I dream the Bobby Witt thing? No, Bobby Witt 100th percentile sprint speed. Wow. Who knew? Okay, so there was some sprint speed talk. Rangers take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. Braves, what are you doing, man? Outside of Taylor Hearn shoving on you. Whoops. Yeah, they're 10-13. Their train really hasn't left the station yet. But again, it's where baseball is beautiful, ridiculous, stupid, so many different ways to peg it. The Braves are 10-13. They're going to the Metropolitans to play 4. Like, if they took care of their business there, they're right back at it. If they don't, they're facing the Mets and the Brewers, man. Watch out. Braves. Let's go figure it out. JP Crawford. Talking baseball coming up after this. Excited. A lot of good series. A lot of good sports. That's the baseball talk. Where we saw you guys last episode, we had Justin Pennick here. He's around, or maybe he's not. Bobby Skinner's in the office today, talking Giants. Joined them on Saturday for the draft a little bit. Had a good time. They are cranking out a ton of draft content, Giants and football related. Go check it out. They're grinders, and they're good at it. That's the fun part. Jerry Blevins is in the building today. Shea Station. Exciting day. Let's do some NFL draft. Like I prefaced with you guys, there's only so much to truly break down. You can like some ideas and concepts. The big winners, if we're doing some high-level water cooler talk, who people think are the winners. The Baltimore Ravens, Bobby and Justin were super jealous of almost every guy they drafted. Again, you guys know I'm a big organization guy. The Ravens, sneaky, really good, well-run organization. And I think the draft is a big part of that. They got the safety from Notre Dame, Hamilton. They got a center who seems like a set-it-and-forget-it center. Ojabo out of Michigan. He was supposed to He would have been a first rounder if he doesn't get hurt getting ready for the draft. They get him at the 45th pick. And even their later mid-round picks, the Talking Giants guys, I was live with them, they were freaking out. The New York Jets. Jet life. Is it a new era? Everyone was happy with the Jets draft. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson in the first. Breece Hall, top running back. They get him 236. Exciting times. I always love. This is the year. I think I told you guys this theory with Justin. I think for rookie quarterbacks, there's been a few teams that just throw them out there with almost as little help as possible. And then that next year they load up. And Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jeremy Ruckert, tight end out of Ohio State. I'm excited to see what the Jets look like. Are they a watchable product again? When was the last time the Jets were a watchable product? Sanchez?
You're like truly
New York Jets.
That's like that was the last time they were good.
Football
exciting
reference. And G-Men fans were excited on day one. Go check out Bobby and Justin. I won't even tease you guys with that. Let's see. The Jets, 2021, 4-13, 2-14. They were 7-9 in 2019 with Darnold, Le'Veon Bell.
Is that Darnold's first season?
Adam Gase. I think it was Darnold's second after the Todd Bowles era. Let's see. 2015, they were 10-6 with Fitzpatrick.
Oh, it's Fitzpatrick here.
Outside of that, yeah, you're kind of going the Sanchez, 2010, 2011. So, exciting time, Jetsy as it getsy. But, yeah, everyone loved what they did. They had an extra first-round pick from the Adams trade a few years ago. Good for them. Let's see. Falcons, Lions, I don't know. Lions, I think they stumbled into something beautiful with Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's going to be really good. I think Dan Campbell as their coach. They took Jameson Williams. A couple kind of layup picks. Good. Lions need layups. Lions need a lot of layups to get going. And the Eagles, they were a big one too. A.J. Brown, they make the trade for him. Jordan Davis, the monster D tackle. Nagobe Dean, who people love. Juergens, a center who's plug and play. Good for them. I'm trying to think. Giants fans didn't like the rest of their draft. That's fine. That's fine. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the day one went so perfectly. The rest of it, we'll find out in a couple years whether or not it was good.
I'm
not gonna pretend I knew any of those people going into the weekend besides the first round guys.
I think there's a clip. I think we even tweeted out of Orlovsky saying the Packers had a WTF plus draft. Just a weird quote. I kind of like their draft. If you're the Packers, you get top rate differently because you have Aaron Rodgers. I think the stat is something ridiculous. I think it's since Aaron Rodgers has been the Green Bay starting quarterback, they've drafted offense in the first round once, and that was Jordan Love.
Huh.
It's pretty wild.
I knew there was something like that.
It's pretty wild. But by the way,
got a receiver in the second.
Yeah, they got a receiver in the second. They got a receiver in the fourth. Hey, everyone liked the receivers in this draft, so they do that while getting two Georgia dudes on defense.
I think Giants fell into a similar category with the receivers. There's a bunch in this draft. In the second, there's going to be one that's probably a first round talent a lot of years that we can go snag.
Good highlights.
They don't have Devontae Adams anymore, but it's not like he was a first round pick.
I know Houston's kind of become a joke, and Stingley is one of the bigger coin flips in this draft, but I actually really like their draft.
The only one that I think was like a real question mark was like Seattle. They're in, and they're just like their franchise is in a weird spot.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I saw some people like Seattle's draft. I mean, I don't know. They took a running back high, and everyone killed them for that because they already have 2 running backs they're paying and stuff. I don't know. It's more of a where's that franchise at type deal because, like, I mean, Russell Wilson was everything for that team for years.
Maybe I'm skewed. I know our football guys weren't big on Charles Cross, and so maybe my view on him is a bit skewed from a Giants perspective. But like they get him at 9, who's the first clear like step down at that position.
Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh. We talked about that. I mean,
cool.
Hey, honestly, unless you're a team that hates the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a few of those out there, kind of root for that because it's fun at least. The small hands thing is weird.
Like, is a thing.
I think me and Kenny Pickett have the same size hands, which I don't know.
I got small hands.
A lot of jokes about me being short. There's a putting video that came out, and I hide behind Peter Moylan for the whole intro teaser.
Yeah, they but with the quarterbacks and stuff, like the narrative is like kind of any of them could be good if in the right situation, and everyone pegged Pittsburgh as whoever goes there, that's probably the most right situation.
I mean, well-run organization, and they take a kid that they share a workout facility with, so you'd like to think they know about him, and you know that you're getting the dude to lead your team. We'll see. Malik Willis, one of the stories of the draft, people thought he might go like 6th overall. He goes in the 3rd round to Tennessee. Sneaky fun. We'll see if he becomes a part of this season or the next. But again, what do you do with that? I have no idea. There's a lot of people thought this guy could go in the 1st round. They get him like mid to late 3rd.
And pure value, you got to like that for Tennessee and the whole Tannehill thing. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
but it's a weird spot, at least in the immediate future. Like, it seems like Tannehill's going to still be there, be the guy this year. And they'll probably, you assume, I mean, things change quick, but you assume they'll still have a good roster after that when he potentially takes over and he's uber talented and all that. So, but they're not like a historically great, well-run franchise like Pittsburgh is. Like, we don't know for sure that's going to go great, and you never do. But
I like the Chargers got a guard who's supposed to be set it and forget it. I love the safeties out of Baylor. They got one of them in Woods, and they drafted Isaiah Spiller, running back from A&M. We like a good running back from A&M. We like the name Spiller. Who got like the worst grade in the draft? What do we got here? Oh, New England kind of getting roasted for trying to be too New England. Cole Strange, hilarious name. Just a hilarious name. Yeah, I mean,
Washington doesn't seem to be getting a lot of love.
It literally seems like sometimes New England goes out of their way to try to be New England. Sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. And some people are starting to realize that more and more with New England and some of their draft picks, and it hasn't been as hot without Tom Brady, the best quarterback ever, running the ship. Yeah, Cowboys, Washington football, the Commanders, not getting a ton of love. Saints, did they do anything? They drafted the wide receiver, Olave. Cool to see if the Saints could be like a fun offense again. Michael Thomas has been missing for seemingly forever. Olave would be a good ad. 2 first-round picks. I like the Saints. I like New Orleans.
There's got Tyrann Mathieu, which is cool.
Look at that. LSU.
Yeah.
Honey Badger.
I think people don't love the Cowboys' first-round pick, but seem to like the rest. I don't know.
Here's what I'll say. I hope your guys' team just drafted the future. A stud. Nobody knows. Guys flame out so quickly. It's tough. It's a weekend of hope, so I love it. It's kind of one of the beauties of sports. And, yeah, I mean, May 2nd. I mean, football doesn't really...
It's never really on the back burner.
I mean, what do they do in the summer? How does football hook us in the summer? Do they do anything?
You get like OTAs and stuff.
Right,
and
but like, I mean, I'm
contract extensions.
Sure. I mean, I'm kind of a nerdy as a sports guy as it comes, and OTAs.
Yeah. I don't get how they do it. They're just always up there.
We'll see. I guess we'll see.
That is for us. We're in like peak baseball during that. So one time it might be.
Right. It's true. All in all, and hey, when I ask for comments, I often say reference your guys' towns or your guys' sports teams because you feel it differently. Like I'll go back before we get into the comment of the day. New York. The vibes are pretty good after day one of the draft. The Mets are rolling. The Yankees are rolling. Rangers playoffs getting started. Whoops. Just hurt my finger hitting the table. That's pathetic. Jets and Giants, they both like their first-round picks. Giants had 2 in the top 10, so the Jets, and they had another first-rounder. So New York, I mean, was buzzing. New York was buzzing. It was pretty cool. I mean, Pittsburgh, like we talked about with Kenny Pickett, staying. I know the Pirates haven't been giving you guys too much juice. Yeah, I'm trying to, right now in my head, I'm trying to put together like who, Marlins, Dolphins fans, no, Cleveland, Twins take 2 out of 3, and the Vikings, no, that doesn't do too much for you. I don't know, I guess Orioles fans, Baltimore. Good draft, beat the Red Sox. That's a nice little sports weekend. Cincinnati, you're probably very into the draft after what your baseball team's putting out. Golden State, the Niners, I don't know. I guess I would say you guys tell me, because I ask you guys, the bakers, to bake the algorithm. Leave a comment, question, anything in the comments section. Up to 6.2 subs on YouTube. Hey, maybe leave a podcast review. I opened those up today. Yeah. Still there. I'm still here. And yeah, I say bake the algorithm, you know. Leave a comment. Hit the like button. Share with a friend. As everything goes into this internet pool. What? The internet. And helps run the world. Thank you guys for participating. Last episode, we had our guy, Justin Pennick, on, and we were talking about the draft. Sunglasses to start. Forgot about that. I think I left my sunglasses in the Bronx. Pretty bummed out about it. My hot boy sunnies. Debating asking Zach when he comes back to go to the Bronx and get them. Seeing how desperate I am. Got some sunglasses floating around.
Yeah, I think we just got some more.
Yeah. So,
I want to have those reserved.
Nomar LeBron, never been more out of the loop on draft day, so this was much needed. Good. That was kind of the goal. Let's see. Sam Ashley, Jake, you got to live stream some of the show. That would be so much fun to watch. There's some clips of that on JM Gaming, and I hope there's more to come. I want to do some this week with Joe's. I think we can do it in our main lounge area now. So I think that would be exciting. Let's see this one. Dominic Pancella. Whoa. Good Paisan name. Appreciate the draft preview, boys. There's always so much information to digest. The wide receiver conversation. It always benefits a team to go for a player who's clearly the best at his position or a high up, weak depth chart rather than a player who's ranked higher overall but plays a deep position because you're more likely to find another guy later that's almost as good as a player you want in a deeper position. Whew. He keeps going. I love it. Some good passionate from Dominic Pencella. And thank you guys for baking the algorithm watching. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for talking sports. That's what I like. Oh.
The Mets have DFA'd Robinson Cano.
Wow, it happened. Hey. That news probably just got to the Shea Station, guys. Feel like I heard a giggle through a vent. And good for the Mets. Man. Good for the Mets. I know we sit at home. We watch our sports teams, and sometimes the decisions seem easy. But I think it's $40 million they got to eat.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get a full number.
I know it's pretty easy for us to look at the Mets and say, hey, DFA Cano. Just pay the $40 million. It's a lot of simoleons. That's a lot of money for someone to not come to work. That's a lot of money for someone to come to work. That's a lot of money for a lot of people to go to work. That's a lot of money for 40 people to go to work. A lot of money for 80 people. Good for the Mets. I mean, that Buck Showalter sets a tone. Max Scherzer sets a tone. Steve Cohen had all the pieces to set the tone, and they're setting the tone. Good for the Mets, man. I mean, Dom Smith. He can hit, man. He really can. He was on all the... After his 2020 season, everyone was like, man, he's one of the best hitters in the game. I don't know. I'd love to see him get a full season of run. 4 for 4 last night. The other numbers aren't super impressive. I was expecting to see a lot more the way Mets fans were getting loud over it, but that's probably more of a reflection on Cano and where he's at. Good for the Metropolitans. Good for the Metropolitans. And, man, 48 mil they're eating. Wow. That changes all my numbers. Wow. That's crazy. Good for the Mets. Which brings us to the Bro of the Night. Bro of the Night is someone that deserves to be talked about, a standout performance of sorts. Someone who's special, deserve to be talked about. I don't know if I did this before or not. It might be. I think it's Buck. I've definitely given one to Buck before.
We've talked about Buck quite a bit. Curious where you're going. What you're specifically liking.
He changed the whole culture. He changed the whole culture of the New York Mets. Yes, they added Max Scherzer. Yes, they added some other really good baseball players. Marte, Cano, Eddie Escobar. The Mets feel like a completely different franchise. It starts with him. I know you guys have probably heard us talk about it before. Anyone from Yes Network that had been in touch with Buck said he's just a different guy. He's awesome. He's changed the New York Mets. I mean, all of them. Cohen, Buck, Scherzer. I mean, Steve Cohen, I know he's had a couple slip-ups along the way. Hiring Buck, I mean, he deserves credit for that. And rolling it out for Scherzer. So, hey, I've openly said it. I think my sports dream is a Subway Series in New York while I'm living in New York. We're a long way away from that. But my goodness, about as good of a start for both teams as they could possibly have to get it going. So thank you, the Mets. I love it. Let me keep dreaming. Oh, I'd love a Subway Series. Whew. BBD, do you have a brother name?
Yeah, you mentioned him briefly, but give a full shout out to Jordan Poole and their 1-point win over the Grizzlies in Game 1, 31 points, big boy number, team high.
Yeah.
Also 9 assists and 8 rebounds along the way, just short of a triple-double. And it's just like they got another guy. Just good, huh? Doing it at all levels, 5 of 10 from 3, 12 of 20 overall. So this dude's efficient too.
Yeah.
A little messed up. 3 offensive boards.
I love Golden State, man. I really
cool.
do. The environment that Steve Kerr has created there, like, coaching matters, man. If they had kept Mark Jackson and Kerr goes elsewhere, I don't think that team has the same level of success at all. I mean, the way that they respect Kerr and the way they respect Draymond for what he does, while Curry is this noble superstar and Clay is a silent assassin of a superstar, it's incredible. It's special. It's special. And that's kind of what I was saying about Giannis too. Like, Giannis gets hurt for not being a killer and kind of having a funky name, but he's like young Shaq with handles. Like, that wasn't even fathomable. And he does that in a night in, night out basis. I guess that's where, and it's kind of why I opened and started with the NBA, is that at this part of the year, you start writing legacies for guys. And it's kind of awesome, man. I mean, how good these guys are. I'll go to each playoff series quick. Luka Doncic is making a push for best basketball player in the world. Chris Paul and the career he's had. He's one of the best point guards ever. Devin Booker. What he's off and about. I mean, dude gets buckets, but we don't necessarily respect him as some of the guys that have gotten buckets at his level. Joel Embiid has like an argument for best basketball player in the world. Harden. I mean, that guy's career is going to be a fun one to look back at, huh? I mean, Jimmy Butler, it's kind of a different tier, but it's also electric and exciting. Bam Adebayo, kind of the same thing, but the Heat's organization and Spoelstra, et cetera, et cetera. Ja Morant, I think, is the future of the sport. He's incredible. Golden State, I just ran you through it. Giannis is somehow underrated for what he's doing. And then the whole, like, Tatum, Celtics, Jaylen Brown, like, they're figuring out. Some people love Tatum more than some of the other guys I just mentioned. It's where I think this time of year the NBA really does get special. Even just throwing the highlights from some of the games from yesterday, the level of basketball is in a different world. And it's a good thing for the NBA playoffs. It's also a little bit of a shot at their regular season product. It's not where it was in previous years. Between guys resting and games that matter and some teams taking the regular season seriously and some not. Yeah. yeah, I guess I'm excited to lock in for the next few weeks with you guys. So, with that being said, talking baseball. I think 12:30, looking to tip off. Got ahead of things today a little bit.
Weekly Dumb pre-recorded.
Pre-dumbed. Pre-dumbed. There is a lot of good stuff on the JOMBOY Media Network. How about that? Talking Giants. Again, go check out all their stuff. They went ham. A little Talking Knicks out there. Wow. JOMBOY Jake TV. I think we have a Sporkle go out today.
Coming later, maybe?
I think Sporkle coming
Soon.
later.
Oh, let's check out that GeoGuessr. It's still out.
Baggage. GeoGuessr. If you never watched that, you're a fool. Chris Rose rotation. Who's he got? The Padres broadcaster, I think.
I believe so.
Talking Yanks, we're doing good things. Breakdowns, mansplain.
Farm to Fame.
Farm to Fame is always good. Compound comes out.
Shea Station has an interesting episode coming up.
Just got big updates. Thank you guys. Bake the algorithm.